Welcome to Five or Flop, a podcast for the best and worst historical fiction has to offer. I'm your host, Grace.
And I'm Erin, and each week we'll be reading a different historical fiction play to see if they're a five or a flop.
Our theme for season 6 is All the World's a Stage, and this week we're reading Amadeus by Peter Shaffer.
And this was one I think I originally suggested, no knowledge of it beforehand, but now I'm really excited to talk about it.
Yes, you did a bunch of the heavy lifting on the research for this season, figuring out what we should read, and I had the privilege of just combing through the list and being like, ooh, fun.
It was also based on what we could easily access.
Yes.
Which this one was very easy.
Yes, I got my copy of this one out of the library.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. Thank you, library.
I also got a library copy, but then I was sitting at work it was like my first week of my job, so I finished all my onboarding, and I was like, well, I kind of like don't have any more trainings left to do, so I'm going to find a PDF of this and read it online.
Ta-da!
So that was great also.
Yes. So, anything else you've been up to?
Actually, can we start with currently reading? Because it segues for me.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, I mean, you can start with currently. What are you reading?
So you want me to go first so you can do your segue?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Well, this is actually what I texted you about. I've discovered a lovely new mystery author.
Yes.
And I don't read them as much as you, but I like a good mystery every now and again. So this was a book that I picked up at the McKay, so very cheap. Love that. It was called The Mysterious Case of the Alberton Angels by Janice Hallett.
So that means I can borrow it because you own it.
You can borrow it because I own it. And apparently, Janice Hallett writes mysteries via ephemera. And by that, what I mean is it's not written like a regular novel. It's like made up of text messages and emails and interview transcripts. It's like
not a case file.
Exactly. It's not quite epistolary, but it's epistolary adjacent. And you know that we love that here at the pod.
Yes.
So she has 5 or 6 books, and now I'm excited because I have all these other ones that I can read.
Now, were you able to solve the mystery while reading it?
No, it was quite convoluted.
I usually am not. So
yeah. And also, well, first of all, I say this and I'm going to sound like it's me being like, well, you know, I don't want to solve the mystery. I would like to be carried along by the surprise.
No, I want to solve it and I can't. I'm too dumb.
The thing is, it is true that I like the surprise. However, even if I applied myself to being like, I'm going to solve the mystery, I normally can't.
Yeah.
So, you know, but no, in this case, it was quite convoluted. But I enjoyed it the whole way through.
Good.
So,
good.
Now, your turn.
Okay. So I've been on my YA, and I've now expanded it to say YA plus new adult because of what I'm going to get into.
Yes.
But so I finished The Uglies, which, as we remember, I was on hold for the 4th audiobook for like a billion years. It turns out it was more of a companion novel where Telly Youngblood, aka the main character, was just some random ass side character.
Very sad.
And it was really terrible. It was like a fan fiction of his own book. It was kind of like what Veronica Roth is trying to do with Divergent.
Yes.
Which I will be reading. And then I started The Selection, which most of our listeners will be able to conjure an image of The Selection cover in their head. If they can't, look it up and they will have seen it before. It's the girl in the blue dress. It's basically The Bachelor, but picking who's going to become the queen.
Fun.
Except it's like the worst book. Like the worst. So I listened to the first one. They're like 8-hour audiobooks. So I listened to the first one. I'm almost done with the second one, which I started today at 2 times speed. The entire first chapter of the second book was just a plot summary of the first book. I hate almost every character. They're all horrible.
You mean even the main character, America Singer?
Oh God, how could I forget to name her? America Singer, and she's in the musician cast. Because there's a caste system in society.
Oh, cast with an E on the end. Oh my gosh. I thought you meant that they hired her to play guitar for the theme song of The Bachelorette, and she was so beautiful that they put her on.
Basically, like, every other page, everyone's like, oh my God, America Singer, you're so gorgeous. You could be the perfect princess. And she's like, I'm not gorgeous. I'm not talented. I'm like, bro, stop. Take a compliment. Anyways, so I really hate it. But so I've been on this journey, which I now have a list on my notes app that I'm tracking and ranking the series as I go to read all this YA and new adult books. And I include new adult because it's like A Court of Thorns and Roses. Like if there's a sex scene in it, it's not YA.
Yeah.
Teens are reading it, but maybe they shouldn't be. You know.
Yeah.
But anyways, so all this to say, this has actually inspired me to start writing again.
Ooh.
Because as many of our listeners know, well, I don't know, is that a comment? I think I've mentioned that like 5 times at least. My background is in creative writing. I used to write a lot when I was younger. And then I stopped for a variety of reasons. And then I've been trying to get back into it, like, for a couple of years, maybe, except I kind of had this notion in my head that, like, I can only write highbrow stuff. Like, nothing else is, I think it's not blaming the pod, but the fact that we critique a lot of, like, really good books.
Yeah.
I read a lot of really good books.
No, it's hard to fall into that trap of being like, I must be intellectual.
I know, but I'm like, actually, the only thing I like writing is, like, YA new adult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that is what is fun to me. That is what I'm good at writing. So I'm just doing that again. So there is a culmination to my YA journey, and I'm excited to be sharing it with the pod.
And now that you've read Match in the Selection, you know what not to do.
Exactly. That's also why I'm doing it, because I'm like, if I read the really bad stuff, I know what's really bad at the same time.
Wow.
So all this to say, I've gotten over myself, and I enjoy writing again.
How wonderful.
So it's been a beautiful journey.
So glad to hear it.
I will be keeping you all updated along the way.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so that is my segue. Let's talk Amadeus.
Let's talk Amadeus.
All right, so before I get into the synopsis, which is like, I pulled it off Storygraph, and it is like, I think crazy mean.
Oh.
I didn't look up any pronunciations because they're Italian, so it's fine. Amadeus is the story of, how are we saying it?
Salieri.
Salieri. Amadeus is the story of Salieri's war against God for making him mediocre, for implanting in him a desire to serve as a composer and then making his services seem shameful in his own ears. The play is centrally concerned with divine unfairness and man's unforgiving rage at it. The play gives us a portrait of Mozart, which should destroy the popular image of the composer as a delicate porcelain infant seated at a porcelain keyboard. Shaffer's Mozart is a human being, silly, scatological, impressionable, and in many ways infuriating, but always, to his last breath, the instrument of an unwearying God.
That is hilarious.
I could not find I could not find a synopsis that was just not, like, Peter Shaffer's play got these awards, so this was all I could find, and kind of intense.
I know, but honestly, the play is kind of written like this.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a bad synopsis, but it's a little intense.
That is very fun. I'm glad to have heard that.
All right. So Peter Shaffer.
Mm-hmm. Sir
Peter Levin Shaffer was an English playwright, screenwriter, and novelist, best known for
Equus
and Amadeus, both of which earned him the Tony for Best Play.
Ooh.
Both were later adapted to the screen by Shaffer himself, and he won an Academy Award for Best Screenplay for Amadeus.
You know what? Now I feel really stupid, because I did know about the movie Amadeus. I had not connected it to this play at all until just now.
Yeah, and there's a show that came out in 2025 with the guy from White Lotus as Mozart.
I guess I just assumed that they both decided to title their movie and play that separately.
And it's funny because I've just been getting advertised for that show all the time now.
Is that one also Amadeus based on this?
It's also based on this, from
That's
my understanding.
Crazy. Okay. Why did I not know that?
Yeah, I know. I didn't either.
Okay.
But after Amadeus, he wrote Lettuce and Lovage specifically for Maggie Smith, who went on to win the Tony for Best Actress.
Love that.
The Amadeus movie in 1984 won 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. It also won Best Actor in a Leading Role, Best Director, Best Writing, as said, Best Cinematography, Best Art Direction / Set Decoration, Best Costume Design, Best Sound, and Best Makeup.
Holy shit.
And it had a couple other nominations as well.
That's crazy.
Fun fact, the Equus revival in 2008 was when Daniel Radcliffe was naked with the horse on stage.
And you would totally believe me if I said I knew that immediately and I've never forgotten it for a second.
I didn't know what it was for. Like, I remember him being naked with the horse. I had no idea it was Equus of Peter Shaffer fame.
Thank you, Peter Shaffer.
I had no idea it would get a pod mention one day. So, as we said, they're in the 1984 movie and the 2025 British miniseries. Have you read anything else, seen anything else by Peter Shaffer?
I don't think so, although now I want to watch the movie.
I know, it's like now, and now, why isn't the movie on the 100 Best Movies poster of all time?
I know, if it won so many Oscars, it should be on the poster.
I know, that's what I was thinking. But anyways, our judgments come based on the book and characters within the book. Our judgments come based on the play and characters within the play rather than any real historical figures they may have been based on, which is,
all
again,
of them.
I think probably
mostly
the third week in a row. So we're not judging them, and spoilers ahead.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I would like to start my thoughts with something not relevant.
Of course.
So, for the pod, technically, we as the pod did not read a Mozart Magic Treehouse book. However, I got the numbers wrong. So I did read the Mozart Magic Treehouse book, and it was good. Mozart himself did not appear in it that much. Salieri was not in it at all, as you can imagine.
Well, that's kind of like how George Washington wasn't really in the American Revolution one.
Yes. So mainly it was Jack and Annie and Nannerl, who is Mozart's sister.
Okay.
And they were like looking for him or like looking for his flute to give to him.
Incredible.
You know, it was a whole thing. Anyway, so
you have a
slight Mozart pod connection.
You have a little background knowledge. You know, you're not an expert, but
I know a little bit about Mozart.
Well, I really liked this play. I had so much fun reading it, and I really want to see it. But it starts out pretty much like Salieri is like an old man, and he's like, I'm, regretting all this shit I done, and now I'm going to take my own life. And then it flashes back to him and Mozart.
And this is such a good protagonist character archetype, which is like the witness to a great historical figure. You know?
Yes. It's kind of like how I was saying when we recorded 1776, that I love that trope of like the main character who's super endearing to us and then everyone else hates him. I love this kind as well. Like someone who's seeing the rise of someone great, but also is like jealous and conflicted.
Yes. So you, as the audience, both dislike and sympathize.
It's a good moral lesson.
Yeah. Not for the second time in this 3 episodes of the season to compare something to Hamilton, but it's very much like what Aaron Burr is doing for Hamilton.
Yes.
And I'm going to probably keep comparing all season just because it's easy because people know what Hamilton is.
Exactly. Something I have to point out, which is also not super relevant. So it kind of opens, and you write it well. The opening is very a rumor in St. Petersburg, a la Anastasia, which is just people whispering like rumors and gossip. And those people are the Venticelli, and they're listed as, quote, the purveyors of fact, rumor, and gossip. And that's kind of us on this pod.
We're just talking shit on the pod.
That is pretty much like the best character correlation we have.
Yes. Very, I would say Greek chorus, but like Italian chorus.
Yes.
You know? But yeah, so they're talking about, as Salieri is dying, the rumor spreading across Vienna that he killed Mozart.
Yes.
Mozart's been dead for a long time, and Salieri, who's old and dying, is the one who killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the intriguing beginning of the play, especially for the average reader/viewer, who I assume has heard of Mozart, but not Salieri.
Yes, no, you are correct. And I think it's a good way to frame it and set that up and establish who they are in relationship to each other. I like Salieri. I thought he was a great character.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're meant to kind of not like him because he just like goes out of his way to make Mozart's life bad.
Yes. And to be frank, he didn't need that much help because Mozart did not seem like he was good at making his life very good.
No, he was definitely like very childish and like making bad decisions. Like, there were many points if I were Salieri, like, yeah, I would not have liked Mozart either.
Absolutely not, because it's like, you encounter this all the time in your, like, everyone's lives, even if you're not a genius at something. But when you've, like, worked longer or harder at something, and someone breezes in and is better at it than you'll ever be, like, it grates. It's tough. However, Salieri is not as good of a musician as Mozart, but he is smarter than Mozart.
Yes.
Or at least he's more put together and proper in society.
Mm-hmm.
But he is pretty successfully able to pull off his reign of terror against Mozart without Mozart ever being the wiser.
Yeah.
So it's just slowly over the course of the play, him ramping up his actions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Salieri has a student that he's been teaching a long time who's an opera singer, and Mozart sleeps with her. So Salieri also sleeps with her to be like, I can do it too. He makes sure he's not getting a good paid position at court.
Mm-hmm.
He's
actually like, you should lower that salary to the king.
Yes, exactly.
Or to the emperor, I believe.
Yes, yeah. Who is a character who is kind of funny. Because
amusing.
Yeah. At the very end of the play, he's like, oh my gosh, you should write an opera exposing all of the secrets of the Freemasons, and they'll love it. And Mozart believes him because he's a little stupid.
Yeah, he's also significantly younger.
Yes, he tries to sleep with Mozart's wife, and she does not like that. Till slowly, at the end of the play, Mozart is like living in squalor, ill and dying, being kind of driven crazy, thinks that he is writing his own death requiem because Salieri has gone to his door as a masked man or sent someone else, I forget.
Yeah,
exactly how. And like basically posed as like a threatening stalker to drive him crazy, and it completely works.
Mm-hmm. I wrote down that this was high drama, high reward. Like, the stakes felt very high, even when it was just kind of the earlier stages of, like, them sleeping with the same woman, things like that. Peter Shaffer does a really nice job of just, like, keeping it feeling very important.
Mm-hmm. Salieri's emotions are very intense the whole play, but you still get that good rising action feeling, partially because his actions pick up steam, but also he kind of starts the play being like, oh my gosh, this guy's very talented. He's going to supplant me in society.
And that's the interesting moral lesson, is that, well, Salieri does all this and Mozart dies in squalor, but then who goes on to be remembered in history?
And that's the thing at the end where Salieri realizes, he's like, oh my gosh, I outlived him by 30 years and I'm the most revered man. But he said something like, my music is going to live on the earth and Mozart's in the stars or something like that. He's like, that's why he is the one who spreads the rumor that he killed Mozart. Mm-hmm. Because he says, if people believe this, they'll remember who I was.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Which was insane.
Yeah. And then he kills himself on stage, but it doesn't work. So he lives like in agony, like a little bit longer, enough to live to see that the people of Vienna don't believe that he killed Mozart.
Yeah.
So thus to this day, unless you've seen Amadeus, you probably don't remember Salieri.
Yes.
It's crazy. Crazy.
And honestly, I didn't write this down, the historical accuracy, but I'll say it now. Like, this play did kind of cause a revival of a lot of his music.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane.
Well, hey, he got what he wanted. And he should thank Peter Shaffer. He should send him a fruit basket.
No, exactly. It was very different tonally than the other plays we've read thus far.
Oh, absolutely.
And I really enjoyed it.
It felt very modern to me.
It did. It's even for, not being super, super modern.
Yeah, it's from what? The early 80s?
Yeah, 70s, 80s. The movie was 84.
Okay, so a little bit prior to that.
Yeah.
And even compared to something like 1776, we had great things to say about it. We really liked it. It didn't feel modern.
No.
Like, it felt like good, solid theater.
Yeah.
This feels like they're really being innovative with what a stage play can do.
Yes.
Especially like the edition that I read. I don't know what edition you read or what online free PDF you read.
Exactly.
But mine had a whole bunch of like prefaces in it. And I read some of them and I skimmed some of them and I skipped some of them.
I don't think mine did. We read different editions.
Okay. But mine, it talked a lot about like the original production and then the later revival and like blah, 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 blah. But it seemed like there was so much emphasis on the staging and the lighting. And mine had a stage instruction in the beginning that was like, there's no scene transitions. Like, you go flow from one scene into the next. Like, they can change the stuff behind you, but you're still talking.
Yeah.
So I think all of that, seeing it live, would really add to the mood.
So if there are any local theaters in the DMV that want to put Amadeus on, we have 2 people who want to go see it.
Please, like, even if it's a high school, we'll come.
I know.
A high school should not put this on.
I was going to say, honestly, preferred.
So, yeah, I really liked reading this as theater.
Yes.
I will say, I did a little bit of a luminaries to myself on this one. Because I just, like, slotted a time into my day where I was like, I'm going to sit down and read this whole thing start to finish. And I was kind of making myself do it. Yeah. So I had to revisit it a little bit later. Like, I liked it while I was reading it, but it didn't really leave an impression. Mm-hmm. But I do have a strong feeling that if I saw it, or now that if I watch the movie that I've learned is based on this, that I would feel a little bit more.
Agreed.
So I'd say objectively it is very good. I'm not holding it in my heart really, but I could if I see it. So
yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I think if you like high stakes, high drama, you will get that from this.
Yes, 100%.
Historical accuracy?
Historical accuracy.
All right, so the article, much like 1776 actually, the article I pulled this from, which I don't have the link for, was based mostly on the movie. I don't think they changed much from the movie and the play.
Okay, works for me.
But Mozart's depiction was accurate, based on his letters in real life. He did have a very childish and immature sense of humor. Mm-hmm. While Mozart was suspicious of plots against him by other, musicians and composers, most historians view it as an exaggeration, and most composers were not actively trying to thwart his career at all. there was such a big music scene in Vienna that most were too concerned with their own music careers to really bother.
Yeah. Plus, it did seem like he did a fine job sabotaging himself.
Yes. A masked stranger did commission a requiem from a dying Mozart. That was true.
That's crazy.
It was not Salieri. He was not including completing the requiem, anything like that. This was Count Franz von Walsegg, an amateur musician who wanted to pass off the piece as his own, I believe as a tribute to his wife or something like that.
Oh.
I believe that was quickly found out.
Listen, I'm not saying that he should have done that or that it was a good idea, but, nice try.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting try. The rumor that Salieri poisoned Mozart was popularized in 1830 in an Alexander Pushkin play called Mozart and Salieri, which was the inspiration for this, actually. But this is probably false. His symptoms at death did not indicate poisoning, and there were most likely mutually respectful peers with a normal sense of rivalry, but also there indicates like some success of each other's work as well. So kind of like a normal work relationship.
If I was to write a hit play, it would be heated rivalry, except instead of hockey players, it would be Mozart and Salieri.
Oh my god, please do it, actually. But actually, poor Salieri was really greatly affected by the belief that he killed Mozart. He vehemently denied it, and it contributed to a lot of his nervous breakdowns later in life.
Oh my gosh. So do you think he, knows about this play in the afterlife and is so sad about it?
So actually, when you said he should send Peter Shaffer a fruit basket...
He shouldn't. He should take it back.
He should be throwing the fruit at him.
Aww.
But yeah, so I kept it short with historical accuracy. A lot of the stuff over who was to teach the princess music, things like that were accurate as well.
Okay.
But yeah.
Wow.
So that's all I got. I kept it short for that one, but...
These poor guys.
I know.
Bad lives, both of them.
I know. Should we do our star calculator?
Let's do it.
All right. We're moving quick this week. We have historical accuracy, originality, characters, prose, and vibes on deck. I will get started.
Yes, go ahead.
Historical accuracy, I'm gonna give it a 3 because it seems like Salieri didn't actually do that. And it seems like he would actually be really upset over this. So, originality, I know it is based on or pulls inspiration from Pushkin's work. I'm not familiar with that, and also I thought this was really a unique rivalry to pull from, and also just how it was framed and established. I really liked that. So I'm going to give it a 5. Characters, I'm going to go 5 as well. I like them. They were enjoyable to me. Prose, I'm going to go 4. I thought this was very, very well written. I loved how dramatic it was. And vibes, I'm going to go 5. I really enjoyed reading this. And that's a 4.4, and I gave it a 4.5, and that's a 5.
That's beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm happy. This is already my second 5 of the season.
I know, thank God. No offense to Reading Rainbow, but I don't want to do that again.
No.
All right. So for my calculator, historical accuracy, I'll go 3 because you raised some good points. Originality, I'm going to go 5. I think the Pushkin notwithstanding, I think it's still original to pull that from a play that's that old.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Most people are probably not reading Mozart and Salieri. And you're right, I think the way it's framed is very original. The staging seemed great and really thought out, so fine. Characters, I'm going to go actually 3 on this.
The Venticelli aren't selling it for you?
I really love the characterization of Salieri. Not the others aren't really doing it for me. I think the Mozart is fine. The side characters aren't super utilized in
the
a
side
creative
characters.
way.
That's fair. That's
so
fair.
I just think that they're kind of there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Prose 4, very good. Vibes, I'm gonna have to say 3 just because I didn't think about it after I finished it much.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think I give this a 4. What is that?
3.6.
That's a 3.6. That's a little harsh. So I'm gonna stick with my 4. And say fine leaning 5, and that could go up if I watch the movie.
That's fair. I think that's a good assumption.
Yeah.
I think it probably will go up with the movie, which I imagine we'll watch.
Yes. And we have another banger, hopefully, set up for next week.
Well, another banger author.
Absolutely. That we have proof of.
We are reading an August Wilson play.
Yes.
And we had ample to choose from.
We did.
But we went with the piano lesson, which I don't believe either of us have read before.
No, but we'll talk about, we've both read August Wilson before.
Yes.
We'll talk about what we have read from him next week.
Yes. And in the meantime, make sure you're following us on Instagram and Twitter at 5orflop_pod. And make sure you're following along with our Storycraft Reading Challenge for Season 6. Also, all of our past ones.
If you want to tell us other August Wilson plays that we should read, you can fill out the recommendation form in the bio of any of our social medias, or you can just send us an email at fiverfloppodcast@gmail.com.
And until next time,
Happy reading!
Bye!